The division of Korea wasn't inevitable. It wasn't ancient. And it wasn't decided by Koreans. It was drawn, quickly, strategically, and under pressure, by two foreign powers at the end of World War II. A single line. On a map. That line would divide millions of people, spark a devastating war, and create one of the most dangerous borders in the world. So how exactly did it happen? For centuries, Korea existed as a unified political and cultural entity, most recently under the Joseon dynasty. But by the late 19th century, it became a target of imperial competition, especially between China, Russia, and Japan. After the Russo-Japanese War, Japan emerged as the dominant power in Korea. In 1910, Korea was officially annexed by Japan. Colonial rule was harsh, Korean language and culture were suppressed, land was redistributed to Japanese control, millions were used for labor and war efforts. But resistance movements also grew, both nationalist and communist. This ideological split would matter later. By August 1945, Japan was collapsing. The question wasn't if Korea would be free, but who would control it next. The Soviet Union entered the war against Japan and rapidly advanced into northern Korea. Meanwhile, the United States had not yet reached the peninsula. American officials feared total Soviet control. So in Washington, two U.S. officers, Dean Rusk and Charles Bonesteel, were tasked with drawing a division line. They had limited time. No deep knowledge of Korea. And one goal: stop Soviet expansion. They chose the 38th parallel. Why? Because it roughly split the country in half, and kept the capital, Seoul, in the American zone. The Soviets accepted. And just like that, Korea was divided. Initially, the division was meant to be temporary. There were plans for reunification and joint governance. But tensions between the US and Soviet Union escalated into the Cold War. Cooperation collapsed. Instead, two separate states began forming. In the north, the Soviets supported Kim Il-sung, a guerrilla fighter with communist ties. He built a centralized, authoritarian system aligned with Soviet ideology. In the south, the US-backed Syngman Rhee, a strong anti-communist leader. His government also showed authoritarian tendencies, especially early on. By 1948, two governments were officially declared. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North, the Republic of Korea, South, both claimed to represent all of Korea. Tensions quickly escalated. Border clashes were common. Both sides wanted reunification, on their own terms. In June 1950, North Korean forces invaded the South. The Korean War had begun. This was no longer just a civil conflict. It became a proxy war of the Cold War. The United States intervened under the United Nations. China entered on the side of North Korea. The Soviet Union provided support behind the scenes. At one point, nearly the entire peninsula was controlled by each side at different times. The war devastated Korea. Millions of civilians killed, infrastructure destroyed, families permanently separated. By 1953, a stalemate forced an armistice. But no peace treaty was ever signed. The war ended, but the division hardened. The Korean demilitarized zone became one of the most fortified borders in the world. But the deeper reason the division still exists is political. In the north, power became concentrated in a hereditary system under the Kim family. In the south, the country evolved, eventually becoming a democracy and economic power. Over time, the gap between the two systems grew so large that reunification became more difficult. Not just politically, but economically and socially. The division of Korea wasn't just a local event. It was one of the first major conflicts of the Cold War. It showed how global superpowers could divide nations without direct colonization. And it set the stage for future conflicts around the world. So Korea wasn't divided because of ancient hatred. It was divided by decisions made quickly. Under pressure. By global powers competing for influence. A temporary line became permanent. And today, that line still defines the lives of millions. Because in Korea, the Cold War never truly ended.